up next, we've got an amazing leader. He is super, super creative. He doesn't only preach, but he also makes super, super cool videos. And I know that he has got an incredible word on his heart. So can y'all give it up for Camden?
What's up? What's up? Hey, I love you guys. Well, hey, first of all, I want to thank Olivia. Thank you so much for the opportunity. This is awesome. I'm so grateful for that. And before I start, I think my brother's in here. Can you stand up? There he is. Hey, everybody give it up for my brother. Oh, I'm going to get emotional. Almost 2 years ago today, I didn't want to leave my old church. We moved out here, Laker Ranch, a while ago, and I was like 45-minute drive to my old church, and I was like, no, I'm not going to leave. And then my brother started going to this church called Bayside. And he's like, hey, it's right by our house. It's literally 5 minutes away. Can you just come with me one night on a Wednesday? And I'm like, no. I don't know anybody there. I don't know. I'm not just going to go to a new church. Like, I don't know anybody. So I was like denying it. And then he kept asking. And finally I'm like, you know what? Sure. He's like, hey, you can play basketball there too. So I love basketball. So okay, I'll go. So I come to this new church, Bayside. And now, almost 2 years later, I'm speaking on the platform. So I just want to say thank you, Carter. This is all because of you. God works through people. So yeah, my name is Camden. I serve on the creative team here at Bayside Youth. Do all sorts of videos and stuff. And I love basketball, going to the gym. Anybody else like going to the gym in here? Let's go. All right, well, I want to start by telling you guys a story that happened to me about 6 months ago in the gym. So I was doing chest day, right? And I'm about to go for a new max on incline dumbbell bench press. So I'm like, I want to do the most I've ever done. So I go over there, get the new dumbbells, the heavier ones, right? I put them over here. I'm like, all right, if I'm going to do a max, I got to have my favorite song playing. Anybody else relate to that? You got to have your song. So I go get my phone. I come over back to the dumbbells, put my phone on the ground, press play. Mistake. I get on the bench, right? I'm doing my bench press, ego lifting. I drop the weight onto my phone, shatters the screen, literally shatters the screen. And then I pick up my phone. I'm like, now what am I going to do? I go to type my password in, and I can't type it in because I shattered the screen where you type your password in. So I have no phone now. I literally lost my phone, pulled my shoulder on the way down, so everything was going wrong. And I was like, well, now what? What am I going to do? So I go home later that night, and my dad calls me, and he goes, hey, bring your phone in. It's time for a new phone upgrade. I'm like, how did I get that lucky? Because thankfully they take broken phones in. So he perfect timing, right? I get my broken phone, I give it to my dad, and I have a brand new phone now, better than I could have even imagined after going through something that I didn't think I would make it through, right? So that you can kind of get at what I'm trying to say. Today I want to talk about how God uses all seasons to build our character and strengthen our faith. So have you guys ever been in a situation where you're like, why is this happening to me? Like, God, why? What's the purpose of this? I don't get the point. What's coming? What good is going to come out from this? I've been there, and I know everybody at some point battles some kind of storm. I don't know what you walked in here tonight dealing with, whether it's anxiety, fear, depression, whatever it is. We all go through different things. But I wanted to remind you that God can work through any situation, any season, no matter what it is. There's purpose in everything. And so I want to go to the book of Romans. If you haven't read Romans, read Romans. It's one of my favorite books of the Bible. Romans 5, verses 3-5 says, we rejoice in our sufferings, knowing that suffering produces endurance, and endurance produces character. Character produces hope, and hope does not put us to shame, because God's love has been poured into our hearts through the Holy Spirit who has been given to us. I mean, that right there, yeah, give it up for that. I mean, speaks to me instantly. It's really good because it tells us, like, there's a purpose for your pain. There's a purpose for your struggle. There's a reason for the season. Have you ever heard that? Like, there's a reason for a season. Well, it's true because God works through anything. And you'll never see the purpose of the storm until you see the growth it produces. So my first point, or my main point, the takeaway I wanted you to get out of this message is trust God in the seasons that you don't understand. Trust God in the seasons that you don't understand. Because God knows what he's doing even when we don't. I saw this quote one time. It says, it's hard to see the picture while inside the frame. And we're all like this little speck inside of a big picture, right? But what you don't realize a lot of the time is God is not even in the picture. He sees the whole thing. He can see every part of it from beginning to end. So he knows what you have to go through to get to where he needs you to be. And you can do all the right things and still be miserable. Like, as a Christian, I know when I'm going through something, the first thing I think of, all right, I'm going to read my Bible. I'm going to pray. I'm going to worship. And I start to make boxes to check, right? I'm making all these boxes. I'm like, check, check, check. But by doing that, I'm starting to make it more about me and less about God. What I didn't realize then is we do those things to make it more about God and less about us. So you don't just do those things to do them. You do them to get closer to God, because that's what will really give us our purpose and show us what we need to do. And we go through all seasons. We all go through seasons of brokenness, loneliness, whatever. I did like recently, and I searched for things that would fill like that feeling in my chest. I searched through my friends. I was like going through anything for validation, for whatever, even through people who love me. I was searching like this. But what you don't understand, you got to search like this. You can't just search like this. You have to search like this. And sometimes it takes feeling completely empty to find what truly fills you. And that's a relationship with God. God brings us through things to pull us towards him. So we realize what will really help us and what we really need to fill our hearts. Because Jesus is the only thing that will fill your heart. If I didn't go through all the things I've been through, I wouldn't be who I am today. God uses every moment of our life as a story, as a testimony, to get us to help other people. Your story could be the one thing that brings someone closer to Jesus. And the truth is, we live in a fallen world, right? We live in a world where there horrible things happen. There's sadness, depression, disease, death. Like, there's all these things, but there's also a God who loves us so much that he sent his only son to die for us so that we could be in relationship with him. That just blows my mind. And what I get to that is remember that God can use your worst days to build character and strengthen your faith in him. So I want to leave you all with a challenge tonight. Let's become more thankful for the seasons that we're in. No matter what happens, always remember that one thing will always stay the same: the constant and unconditional love of God that will never forsake you. Thank you.